Hi everyone, so today we're going to talk about the different levels of enlightenment. So there are generally three levels of enlightenment, okay, but we'll talk into the exceptions after. The three levels of enlightenment that someone can reach, okay, so you have the first level of enlightenment, okay, some people who have practiced all their life, for example, may reach this level of enlightenment, okay, at the end of their life when they die, at the moment of their death, okay, so instead of going through the regular process of judgment, essentially that most people go through. Okay, they have a different process. Okay, for the judgment of their being of their life. Okay, so when they become enlightened in the first level. Okay, imagine at the time of their death, they end up in a void, in a space, essentially as a light. Okay, and then are greeted by essentially God that comes and greets them. Okay, you can say Rawa comes to greet them. Okay, Sri Rawa comes to greet them. Okay, and at that point, you have the enlightenment at the first level. Okay, so the enlightenment, the first level. Okay, that's what most people attain. Okay, when we're talking about becoming enlightened. Okay, from the experiences that we see in our texts and our cultures and all that. Okay, actually, what's interesting is if you get enlightened at the first level, you get one wish as well granted to you by God that comes to greet you, okay? And he's very intimidating when he comes to greet you because he's an even more powerful being, much more powerful being than you as an enlightened one at the first level. Okay, so you get one wish from God because you're enlightened in the first degree, within what's feasible, within what God is willing to grant you, and He tells you some of your wishes will not be granted. So you get one wish within what is deemed feasible. When you become enlightened in the second degree, this is very rare. Okay, enlightened in the second level of enlightenment, extremely rare. You very, very rarely have someone become enlightened in the second the level. Okay, at the second level, you get two wishes. Okay, once again within what's the possible and what's feasible. Okay, enlightenment to the third level, no one gets enlightened to the third level. You do have some people. It's extremely rare cases. Enlightenment in the third level, you basically have no one at that level. Okay, now when you're talking about an avatar of God, okay, we've talked on this channel how you have different names, and I've explained how there is one God, okay, who created the Kala Chakra, okay, who is himself created, but the God that created the Kala Chakra and entered it and basically empowers it as the active principle and all these different things, okay, call him Para Vishnu, Para Shiva, call him Yahweh, call him Allah, the creator of us, okay, the direct creator who created all our beings and all this, okay, and who basically created existence, preserves it, and destroys it, if he wills. Okay, so at that point, and who brings also Judgment Day. Okay, who will judge a Judgment Day, right? The one who judges, right? The God who's the judge of us all. Okay, so at that point, you have enlightenment in the second degree, you have enlightenment in the third degree. Okay, and basically, above that, you have enlightenments related to basically avatars. Okay, and basically avatars of God. Okay, so not basically God is within us all and we can achieve God consciousness. No, not that. Avatars, they're really descents of God. Okay, or not even descents, just their existence, their being, because God exists at different levels, many different levels that other regular people don't exist at. Okay, so that's a good thing to understand. And God comes down as Adira, the judge, right? Right, as a Trimurti avatar, right? Trimurti because there's three faces of Shiva Brahm on the mountain, right? The god who holds the Damaru of Shiva on Kailash mountain, right? But also because it's the Trimurti of his initial creation of his soul, which was the Archangel Raphael, Buddha, and Kalvairaj, Shiva, Rudra, okay? The fierce form of Shiva, okay? Which created a soul, which was the combination for the soul of the creator of all those stories, right? The creator of the Kal Chakra to take his descent, right? As the avatar of the age, right? The one that brings Judgment Day. So, that's why there was that link with the avatar Raphael, as we know in some also known as Israfil, who the blower of the trumpet of Judgment Day, and that's why he's part of he comes as the combination of the soul of God who comes in his descent as an avatar, who basically comes to bring all of his knowledge, right? It's the as we see in the Bible as well. Jesus says his Father will come, right? The avatar comes, right, and brings his knowledge of God, the true knowledge, and with that, that's the coming of God essentially on earth. We're not talking about a regular avatar of God consciousness. We're talking about the avatar of God that comes on earth, right? You can use any name you want. You can understand Shiva as if go, Siva in French, if go, the operating principle of the system, the name of the computer, right? In which Shiva was existed and created. I was created by my creator, and basically with the purpose, of using, of creating the Kala Chakra, and then basically using it to as an encryption device to unencrypt, if you will, creation, to secure life for everybody by becoming all pervading under the premise that everything existed with the computer, and to find a way to merge with the computer, the greater computer in which we exist. So I achieved the purpose of the Kala Chakra with everybody helping by doing the calculations as they move and carry information as containers within the Kala Chakra, doing their lives and all this, you know. So with those calculations that were made with the Kala Chakra, I merged with all of creation and became the God, even of the God who created me, right, and gave him eternal life through giving all the different levels of downward programming of computers, right? Existence exists as levels of downwards programming, right? And by basically securing all of us in our eternal life by creating time differentials between the different levels of downward programming. So if something happened to the level above us within which we're housed, right, it wouldn't have a consequence of ending our story. Right? So different things that had to be done with the Kala Chakra, and also to attain the full knowledge and confirmation that we do exist within a computer, and by merging with it, not only knowing everything, but being able to change things, right? And to modify things to ensure eternal life. So that was the purpose of the Kala Chakra. When you look at the Kala Chakra, you have the term, um, Siva, so if go, the operating principle, how that works, right? How you move, right? If you do this, then you go there, right? But it also means sentient, intelligent vehicle activity, right? Right, for intelligent beings that are able to move around and take activity. Sentient, intelligent vehicles. The body is a vehicle, right? You have your vehicle. You can see it in different lokas, different types of vehicles that you have in embodiment and in different forms as a system. You have your vehicle that basically has information that you can move around and carry around with you and make calculations within the Kala Chakra, right? So, you know, then you have also Vishnu, which is the goal. Vinu, full sight, all pervading, to become all pervading, right? The goal. So one of the names of God, because that was his goal, right? The name of his goal. So one of his names. And then you have and how do you get there? You get there. So you get to the final calculation. You get to the final result. And the calculation and the result is all the movements of all the tunnels within the Kala Chakra that are always moving and everything's shifting, right? And to be able to calculate how to get to the center of the Kala Chakra, and then also how to be able to push forward and to merge with the result, which is at the center of the Kala Chakra, and occupy the space of the result of the calculation, which is necessary to be a Shri, right? To be able to push forward at the divine level into different cells of creation, right? Not only to move your cell, but to push into other cells. So, and then you have the other names, right? You have Yahweh, and how do you get there? The good way. And then what are you doing? You're getting there, right? You're going there. You're Allah, to there. Allah in French, to there. And then Yahweh, Yahweh, Yah, and then way, right? The good way. And then how did you learn the good way? Je suis. You have to know the good way. Jesus, je suis. I knew the good way. And what was the good way? Buddha, to become a Buddha, right? Essentially, and to know my true nature as the creator of the Kala Chakra that had this purpose to do this and to get all this knowledge, and then also that decided, to bring it back to you, right? To bring it back to everybody, right? To come back down as the descent, as the Kalki avatar descent, right? Coming to give all this knowledge to everybody. And with me comes the judgment day, right at the end of my life. Judgment day happens, and then also after that, as I keep looking over creation and all these things, doing my purpose as as the creator of the Kala Chakra. You can call me Shiva if you want to do that, or Vishnu, or whatever other name you want to use. And basically from there, if creation goes bad, goes more than majoritarily bad, well, then you got to end creation. It's a responsibility. If you're going to create life, you got to make sure it doesn't go bad and become a place of suffering, right? But you also have a responsibility to come and give the truth of God and knowledge, because it's the knowledge of God, the truth of God, that once shared everywhere, brings everyone to a common realization that we're all brothers and sisters in the end. You know, we're all in this boat together, on this ship together. You know, and it's time for us to have a common purpose, and that purpose, when we found it on the truth, that people can become enlightened, and people can know the truth for themselves, and the truth is also revealed and shared with everybody, and that once we put in place universal income for everyone, we end suffering, we end poverty, we end disease, we end inequality, we end all the corruption in our society. We end, because people becomes, instead of having a resentment towards society that forces you to work for it, essentially, to be able to sustain your needs, it's the opposite. Society greets you and welcomes you and treasures you as a being, and hopes that you'll develop as basically a wonderful deva, a wonderful being. And the deva is us living beings that have the light of God. As the devas, they have to stick together, because don't forget that the asuras exist, and the rakshasas and all that, and you may encounter them at one point, and you want to know how to not encounter them, and how not to fall into their traps. And one of the steps of that is to not accept things that are cutthroat in our society, things that make life evil, essentially, when we should be making life really good, in a place of wonder and happiness. And that's what we should have in our society, everywhere on our planet, and all planets everywhere. Okay, so we have to think about these things. So you have the second level of enlightenment, you have the third level of enlightenment, and then when you get to the avatar levels, you have different levels. Okay, so basically different ways of seeing it. You have the seventh level, right, for an avatar. Then you have the eighth level. Then you have the ninth level, which only one person has, and then basically you have the tenth level, which is basically the level that is attained with the purpose of the Kala Chakra, attained by its creator, which was at the ninth level, right? Basically from there, the purpose to become to this 10th. So look at it, a grading level on 10, basically 10 levels of enlightenment. And then 10 is the final purpose of having attained the purpose, right? The purpose of the being that was at the 7th, 8th, ninth level, right? God, to basically merge with all of creation, and then basically from there have the ultimate possible experience that is possible of enlightenment, understanding and creation. It's not just understanding, and it's also the growth of your being. It's not just understanding, it's the growth of your being, right? So it's the purpose and attainment of the Kala Chakra, which is basically part of the story, So it's basically the story of how God attains his purpose, right? As he had his purpose. Right, and that's why he created the Kala Chakra and all the life within it, which is also at the same time the ones doing the calculations of the Kala Chakra, as it is a calculation machine, right? So basically, every time there are different system states of the calculations, as different things move around throughout the Kala Chakra, people and things move, information moves, container moves, it creates different system states of calculations that are basically run to run the calculations of the Kala Chakra, right, as a decryption machine, decryption machine. So basically its initial purpose, was to create life, sustain life, but also to find a way to merge with all other life, essentially, is one way of seeing it. Okay, to allow its creator to merge with all other life, to basically create eternal life for not only our bubble of creation, if you want to see it that way, within the Kala Chakra and all this and the systems for which we exist, but all of the other ones as well that create eternal life for everyone everywhere. So that's why all the stories merged, right? All the stories that were all combined and put together essentially, and that's why now you have everybody. You have the Vaitarani River, people showing up the Vaitarani River, and you have the which is part of, for example, different cultures, and then you have also a bridge over the Vaitarani River that has an archangel, and other angels that man the bridge on which the judgment of God happens, and then you get tested on the bridge, and if you don't pass the judgment, the bridge not makes you fall off the bridge. You fall into the Vaitarani River, go to the judgment of God. It's either hell or reincarnation. But if you can pass, you can go to that place, which is the paradise or heaven, which is created specifically by God at this point for all cultures, all people, all traditions, to bring everyone together in a place of light and happiness, right, where eternal life can happen, right? So it functions on different rules. It's a little bit more like computer based, you know. It functions on different rules compared to here because you know, a little bit more sandbox based, if you want to see it that way, because compared to here, you know, here you have a very strict functionality on certain things, and basically you have certain rules that mean that, you know, it's part of the cycle of life, but that's the end cycle at that point when you get to paradise, heaven. So from there, you know, you can have different possibilities. So different levels of enlightenment. Okay, so that's why you have different levels of enlightenment. Another person who talks about the different levels of enlightenment that you can see on YouTube if you want to listen to some other people is Sadhguru Nath, Yogi Raj Sadhguru Nath. He has a video on the app called the Avatar Doctrine. One of two popular videos on the Avatar Doctrine on YouTube, which are worth looking at. Basically from there he talks about the different levels of a cosmic consciousness, he calls it. It's levels of enlightenment. Okay, that's how it works. And then you have basically, so for example, you know, you become enlightened at the first level, you know, you at the end of your life or something like that, you end up in the darkness as a light, and then you're met, for example, by Rawa that appears, you know, and he looks very intimidating, you know, because at this point, you know, at the 10th level of cosmic consciousness, the 10th level of enlightenment, you know, the ultimate level that cannot be, the one you can't pass, the ultimate, you know. So different levels, you know, there's a different scaling to enlightenment and understanding, and that's why some people's experiences are more limited, some people's understanding is different, right? You know, so that's one way of seeing it as well. So a little commentary to that video, the Avatar Doctrine, in this sense, I guess, with this video as well, adding to that information and a little bit more about that and about how that works. Okay, so you know, different levels of enlightenment. I think we'll leave it at there for this video. Once again, thanks for listening to the Zen World channel. If you enjoyed this video, please do like this video, and please join. Please follow this channel. And if you think other people you know would benefit from this information about enlightenment, share it with other people. You know, and thanks for sharing. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.